Now, how old are you?
I'm 19.
You're 19, okay. And this is another Gardasil story.
Yes.
All right, let's first of all tell everybody who you are.
I'm Jacqueline Duncan.
Jacqueline.
And I'm her mother, Christine. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's hear it.
So, boy, I don't even know where to start. Jacqueline was a dancer. I actually brought some pictures today so that you can see the before and after Gardasil. This was Jackie when she was about
this is modern dance, yeah?
All kinds. I
She
did
did
everything. Yeah.
ballet.
Look at you.
She taught the little girls. She also was a singer and an actress.
That is so cool that you
Thank you.
did that.
This is how she spends most of her days now.
So you're bedridden most
Yeah.
of the time.
She's susceptible to a lot of things. So if somebody has a cold, she might get pneumonia. She gets very, very sick being around, other kids. So she can't be in environments where there's a lot of people because her immune system is so worn down.
So you can't dance anymore at all?
No, and
It's
the one
been
thing-
hard.
Yeah, she misses it a lot. She was
Especially all your friends.
Yes.
That you used to dance with.
I was on a team, a travel team, so we would go and compete every weekend, and I was dancing I'd go to school, then I'd go to dance at 2 o'clock, and then I'd dance until 10 o'clock at night every single day. Yeah.
Yeah, she was very, very busy. She was a straight A student. She had a ton of friends. She was very, very well liked. This was after they took all the blood to figure out what was wrong with her. She almost passed out from that. And this was after a simple laparoscopy. She had a ovarian cyst that had to be removed. And her pain was...
After the Gardasil?
Yes, after the Gardasil. And her pain was so severe.
How many times are we hearing about these ovarian cysts?
Yeah.
Seriously.
She'd never had any beforehand, and that was a simple. You can, yeah.
I'll give them back to you.
That's fine. So she was doing really well in school, and she was really popular, and she actually had auditioned with Disney, and they wanted to fly her out to California, and she had a very promising future, and
What did Disney want to fly her out for?
They were doing casting for different shows and stuff, and I was in the top 13 out of everyone in the country, but I wasn't able to go. I don't do any
You
acting.
look like a Disney princess.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you have no
Yes.
idea how much that means to her because she loves
I love Disney princesses. Yeah.
Well, when you come to our summit, you can be the Disney princess.
Okay, perfect.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of children that are going to want their photograph taken with you,
Yes.
Disney princess.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I love that. So when she was, this happened in 2011, she had around middle school, she started to get a lot of strep throat. And she'd always had strep, but it was just more cases of it, more frequent. And she started to get tonsil stones. Her tonsils actually started to form stones in them from all the scarring she had from the strep. And she was getting sick, and so we went to the pediatrician on a routine visit, and the pediatrician said, "Are you going to get the Gardasil vaccine today?" And I said, "I don't."
This is the first one we're talking about.
The very
So
first
she was
one.
sick again. Another person that was sick when they went for their Gardasil vaccine.
Yeah. And so I said no, because about a month or so before that, she had injured her knee or something in dance and had gone to a physical therapist who had said, have you gotten the Gardasil vaccine yet? And I said, no, she hasn't had it. And he says, well, I'm seeing a lot of girls that are coming in with injuries from the Gardasil vaccine. And he said, so please do your research on it. So when the doctor asked whether or not she would have the Gardasil vaccine, I said, no, we'd like to take some time to research it. Well, she kept going back in for strep or tonsil stones, and the doctor probably 5 or 6 times kept asking about whether or not we were going to get this shot, and I kept saying, no, I still haven't done my research. One of those times, however, I was not able to make the appointment, and my husband took her. And the doctor asked, and my husband said, I'd rather wait for my wife. And the doctor said to my husband, oh, so you want your daughter to get cancer? And he loves her. So it's a decision that as a parent you can't forgive yourself for. We had no idea. So she got the vaccine, and instantly she had some dizziness. She was tired. Her arm hurt a little bit, but no doctor had mentioned that it could possibly be from the Gardasil vaccine. And a month later, she had a tonsillectomy for the tonsils. And when she had the tonsillectomy and she came out from that tonsillectomy, her anxiety was so bad she had to sleep with me. She had night terrors and couldn't sleep at night. She took 3 months to heal from a tonsillectomy that should take about 3 weeks to heal from. And nobody could figure out why it was taking so long and why it was so hard for her. So then we started seeing doctors because she couldn't go back to school. This child who couldn't wait to go to school and was popular and well liked by teachers couldn't go to school and was in pain and didn't feel well and wasn't healing. And
did you have to stop dancing at that point as well?
Yes. Yeah, and that was really hard. Yeah, and I got a lot of criticism from my friends, people like my principal, teachers, my dance team. Everybody they would say I was faking, and I didn't know what was happening to me, but I knew that something was wrong. And I've never been in that type of state. I'm always wanting to be social, and I love dancing. I would never want to give up dancing ever, and I could not do anything. I couldn't even go to the grocery store. So it was difficult to have everyone kind of attacking me and telling me that it was all me when I didn't want this. This was not the way I wanted to live my life.
It's incredible to me how friends and family and so-called loved people in our life, dance teachers, whatever it may be, they turn on the victim of the Gardasil injury.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think anybody knew. And, it was like I couldn't even understand, why aren't you going to school? Why aren't you going to school? Is there something wrong that you don't want to, why can't you go to school? I didn't understand. My husband didn't understand. And we started getting pressure actually from the school. They would call us and say, why is your daughter not here? So we started looking for help because she was in a really bad state. She would have these rages that were not like her at all. And I don't know if it's okay with you that I share about. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she started self-harming, which she had never done before. At one point, she had cut her arm 32 times. And I had no idea what was happening to my child.
And what was happening? What was making you do that?
I had so much anxiety and I was so deeply depressed. That time when I think back to it, it just feels dark. I would never left my room talking to people. I was just out of it. I felt completely out of it. And the only way that I could cope with the amount of anxiety and stress and depression was to cut. And it would relieve some of that. I felt like I could breathe a little bit. But it would come on so strong. That's the only way that I could handle it.
Had they put you on any psychotropic drugs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we initially
that would be one of the problems without a doubt. The side effects. Have you seen the side effects of those drugs?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so actually what ended up happening was for 2 years they had her on those drugs, and she wasn't doing better. She wasn't getting better. And so finally her psychiatrist said, she's not getting better. There's something else going on here, I believe. And around that time, actually, we didn't know this until we started looking and piecing this together. I want you to understand that for us, this has all just come to light in the last month. We're just now finally realizing that it's Gardasil.
And why is that? Why have you only just finally...
Because the CDC tells you that vaccines are safe. And you believe it. You believe that that's true. The doctors never mentioned Gardasil. They never mentioned that that would be what could harm my daughter. Nobody ever said, this is what's taking your daughter's livelihood away. This is why she can't dance. This is why she can't go to school. Nobody ever said that to us. And so when you don't know that that's what's happening, you're lost.
Right.
So we saw these doctors, and she went through, psychiatric treatment, and we did these things, and she wasn't getting better. And in 2013, and we just found out that she had the second shot. I don't remember ever agreeing to it, but they gave her a second Gardasil shot. And that's when the wheels fell off.
And when did that happen?
That was in 2013. Mm-hmm. That was around her junior year.
And so you've only ever had 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes, because I think if she had the third, she probably would be in a wheelchair.
But that doctor that I had, every single time I went in, she was like practically shoving it down my throat. She was like, you have to do, and I'd be alone with her, and she would tell me, like, to make me feel guilty, it's my decision. And, I was young. I didn't know anything about this, so I just was like, okay, I just agreed to it. And the way that she handled that is disgusting to me at this point.
Now, is this doctor still practicing?
Yes.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, you need to report this doctor to the medical board?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
for bullying, medical negligence.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That must be something you do, because my fear is these doctors, same as you, these doctors are still practicing and still hurting people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So she had the second shot, and almost instantly, within a week or so, she started having random shocks all over her body, electric shocks. And we actually took her to the hospital, and they were asking us.
They took me separately. The nurse took me, walked me around, and she was like, are you feeling depressed? How's school going? Is your family close to you? And was giving me a full psych evaluation when I came in for pain that I was having. And they ended up just sending me home, and I didn't get any help at all. And that's something that I deal with all the time is, if you go to the emergency room or regular doctors, they just treat you like it's all in your head. And that's horrific when you are suffering. It's the worst thing ever.
Her, so they didn't have a diagnosis. They sent her home. And she continued to have these shocks. She would get cold, hard muscles. Her muscles would get so hard, and I would try to massage them and rub them out, but her limbs would turn blue. Her legs in particular hurt really, really bad. Her hips and her knee joints were very, very painful. Her hands would turn black from loss of circulation. She would have rib cage that would stick out. You could see the bone sticking out.
why is that?
So it's costochondritis, and it was an effect of what was happening in her body. It would happen in her back as well, and she would get chest pain, like really bad heart pain. She would wake up at night with night terrors, and she would have drenching, horrific sweats. She would get really, really bad migraines and dizzy spells and fatigue that was so severe that she couldn't even get out of bed that day. Nausea.
Yep. Wasn't eating.
She doesn't eat. She eats probably 3 different things, and that's it. And
why? What happens? So does it? What makes you not want? So if I offered you a cookie, what would you say? What would your body say to you?
I just never have an appetite. I never feel. I mean, I don't feel hungry. Like I want to eat something. I feel the hollowness, kind of like, oh, I haven't eaten in forever. But like, I don't actually want to eat anything, and like textures are weird for me. But there will be like 2-3 days that go by, and I'll have like a snack of something, or it has to be a craving that I have, and then I eat a lot of that. But on a day-to-day basis, like meals, I eat probably dinner's my biggest meal. And it's scary for me because I'm like, what is going on here? I know that I should be eating, but like I'm just never hungry. So,
and it's hard for us as a family too at mealtime, because we make a meal and we sit down together as a family, but we always have to make something different for Jacqueline. or accept the fact that maybe tonight she can't eat. And that's really, really difficult. So we were at a loss, and we didn't know what to do, and nobody had mentioned the Gardasil shot. And so the psychiatrist said, I don't think this is psychiatric.
Oh, please stay away from psychiatrists.
I know.
Yes.
we do.
There's no place for
Yeah.
vaccine injury.
Mm-hmm.
No. So we stopped going that route, and I started looking up information, again, never thinking about Gardasil. And we heard about something called pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric disorders associated with strep. In short, that's pandas or PANS. And it was initially mentioned to us by her counselor. And a lot of times kids with strep, the strep actually crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it affects the brain and can cause symptoms like anxiety and night terrors and some of the things that she had, but it didn't explain the physical symptoms that she was having. So from that standpoint, they said, maybe she has pandas, and possibly she's had it probably even since the time she was a kid. So now we look back, knowing what we know now, and we believe that the Gardasil vaccine just took that mild pandas that we probably never would have known that she had and just mutated it in a way that those anxiety and those symptoms that she was having just kind of really went crazy. After we found out about the pandas, she was diagnosed with chronic Lyme. So now we found out that she has chronic Lyme disease. She has autonomic dysfunction. So she's having those sweats and the cardiac issues, and she has severe pain. She's got the ovarian cyst now that she never had before, extremely painful periods. The laparoscopy that she had to remove one of her cysts, they were ready to just send her home. Her pain was so severe she couldn't walk. Her bottom jaw would tremor. And you talk about ignoring something that is blatantly in front of you by a medical community. They literally looked at her and said, oh, she'll be fine. Just send her home. And we took her home, and my child screamed in pain for almost 2 days, and we finally took her back into the emergency room, and the emergency room doctor said that obviously she was in excruciating pain. She ended up in the hospital for another week on Dilaudid and drips because the pain was so severe. And so that's what the Gardasil vaccine has done, though. Something simple, that a laparoscopy that you and I might get and heal from and be able to walk out of the hospital with. Now for Jacqueline, her pain signals are that small fiber neuropathy that she's developed because of this Gardasil vaccine. Her pain signals are, I could scratch her and her skin will turn blue because her body reacts to it differently now. And she's just very sick, and she's lost friends. She only knows one other person here in Columbus because...
Not anymore.
Right, yes.
I know, but it's been hard.
Never going to be alone again.
She's 19. She doesn't have her driver's license. She can't go to college. She had to be homeschooled in high school. Her old high school had kept her from going to prom 2 years in a row. She went through it and then some because she was sick, and people didn't understand why somebody who's as beautiful as she is and looks as normal as she does could be so sick.
Thank you.
Yeah, could be so sick.
I'm worried about your father, your husband, with the guilt that he must be carrying. And
It's horrible.
how's he doing?
Every time we talk about it, he cries.
Oh, it wasn't his fault. It truly wasn't. He was bullied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
Well,
the doctor.
I feel the pain that my parents feel all the time. My family feels. And that's hard. 'Cause I don't want what I'm going through to affect them. And to know that my dad feels that guilt, I tell my parents all the time, I don't blame either of them, ever. I blame the doctor that forced it on us, and, this was just a really hard card that I've been dealt. And my mom, she's my lifesaver. She's the one that, found out that I had Lyme and pandas, and she's, dedicated her life the past couple years to making me better and trying to figure out what's going on with me. And I don't think I would be this far in the healing process and everything without my mom. She's changed my life, and I appreciate my family so much, but it hurts me that they've been damaged by this as well. So it's been hard all around for everyone.
Oh, okay. These people want to show you how much they love you now. It's your turn for some love. Yeah, that speech you did that. You're a very good speaker.
Thank you.
So that's why we're looking forward to having you. This is love for you guys. See all the hearts on the right? Yeah, they love you because you know what? They can't bear to see this that's happened to you. You know, that it's injured you and hurt you and your family. That love is for you as well, Mama.
Oh, that means so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's like a veil has been finally lifted, and you know, even with pandas, like Jacqueline was like, it doesn't feel right, and now she feels like she's a part of this community, and it all finally makes sense. And she, you know, she now goes, okay, like there's other people like me, and I fit in somewhere. Oh,
that's amazing. Thank you.
We're family. That's right. We are family, guys. You're absolutely right when you say
nice.
that. Did you sign the bus?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're
Right,
going
so
to.
we're going to the bus in a second. Okay, and literally, guys, they love you. They love you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.